Hello, I'm here today to teach you how to solve one of these, a Pyraminx, which is a lot like solving one of these, a Rubik's Cube, if you didn't already know what that was, except it's a tetrahedron instead of a cube. So, yeah, basically that's it. So, these are different than these because, well, kind of obviously they're triangles, which are of course different from these because every face is a pentagon, making more faces. So there's only 4 faces here, 6 faces here, and there's 12 faces on here. So, yeah. So solving a Pyraminx is not really like solving, well, yes, it really is kind of like solving a Rubik's Cube. It's not harder, it's not easier, it's just more intuitive. So, if you count using your intuition as being harder, then yeah, sure, it is harder. But, so I'm going to teach you how to solve one of these. So first, we have to mix it up. So, this is what a Pyraminx looks like when it's scrambled. So, not really much, because these pieces can't move, so you can't switch this piece out with this. I mean, sure, you could go like that, but really, that's just moving this layer like that or like that. So, really, you can't move these pieces. These pieces don't move at all, they just rotate. So, I guess it's just kind of for fun to add something. So, if you want to, you can just move them all to the right place. So, these just have to match up, that's it. So, the first step is to solve the cross. So solving the cross, a cross on one of these is not really like solving a cross on one of these. Because since this only has 4 sides, it only has 3, cross pieces. And this has 4, so it actually makes a cross. This one, not so much. It's more like a triangle, kind of hexagonal whatever. So that's what that is. And it's certainly not like a cross on a Megaminx, which is actually a star. So knowing that, first you have to make the cross, like so. So sometimes when you're making the cross, you're going to have 2 pieces that are not, that don't match up, and then a third one kind of like out there on its own. So what you want to do then is just rotate one of them so it connects up with the third one that's kind of lonely, and then now that this one has 2, then all you have to do is rotate that. So unlike on the Rubik's Cube, where you have to solve the cross a certain way, when you solve a cross on these, no matter how you solve it, it'll always end up with these 2 matching up, these 2 matching up, and these 2 matching up. On a Rubik's Cube, you can have something like this, where these 2 match up, these 2 match up, and these 2 don't. See? They're opposite. Or if these 2 are switched, so these 2 don't match up, and these 2 match up, and these 2 can match up. So that can never happen on this. So basically when you're solving it, it'll almost always end up like this, where this matches up, and this matches up. It's a kind of loose analogy, but I hope you got it. So I chose the green face because that was the one that had the most cross pieces on it. When you're solving, it could be, for example, the yellow face that has more cross pieces on it, like so. So, just try to use that to your advantage somehow. So, next, all you do is insert these pieces, the colored pieces, into the right place. So, when I want to insert this piece into here, I would just do something like on a Rubik's Cube, to right, up, right inverse. it's kind of like putting a corner into a Rubik's Cube. For example, left, up, left inverse, which is the opposite of this. And so you may get pieces trapped like this, so all you have to do is do that again or do it in reverse to get them out. And after you do that, then you can just use left, up, left inverse, or something like right, up inverse, right inverse, and it'll put these in. Whoa, well, left layer skip. So that's how you solve the first layer. So after that, my tetrahedron is a bad example of this. You should have these. You should have this side completed, this side completed, and this side completed. And remember, these are they can only rotate in a spot. So no matter how, so you may just have something like this. So with just these three completed, so don't freak out. You can just rotate these back like so. So it's a solid color. So after you've gotten this first layer solved, then all you have is really 3 pieces to move around or flip. So there's only 2 cases of that really, and that's where they need to go clockwise or counterclockwise. So when they're going clockwise, you start with your left hand, you go like this, turn, down, turn, up, turn, back down, and then it'll rotate them. And so if it's the other way around, and you go right, turn, left, right, down, turn, right, right. Like so. Well, an easier way to remember that is you find 2 pieces with matching color that need to go on the front face. So on the front face you need 2 blues. So this one has a blue, and that one has a blue. So you go like this, and since it needs to go, and since it's on the right side, then you can use the left hand algorithm, this, to rotate them until they're all in the right place. But sometimes 2 may be in the wrong flip, which is what I'll address next. So if you have 2 flipped, then then there's a very simple thing that you can do. So you just rotate the right, you rotate the whole tetrahedron cube clockwise, and so you go right, up, inverse, right inverse, and you rotate it back, go like this. So some of you may think, oh my gosh, now I messed up this face, what am I going to do? You gave me a bad algorithm. Well, that's really not the whole algorithm. You can just reinsert it back. It's easier in 2 parts. So now again, we have a case where we have 2 matching that need to go on the front face. So since these 2 are red, these 2 are red, then since it's on the left hand side, then you can just use the right-handed algorithm. Go right, that 1, 2, 3. And so now it's solved. And if you had any of these corners rotated in the wrong direction, you can just fix them at the end of the solve. So yeah. As an ending note, I want to say that I did not look up this tutorial like online or anything. This is my tutorial. I figured it out myself. It took me about 2 or 3 days. So don't go posting down there saying like, oh my god, you stole like so-and-so's tutorial. I really didn't. If it sounds a lot the same, I apologize, but I just got this late. This is a tutorial. This is a method that I invented, or I found out on my own. So I'm sorry if your feelings got hurt if it's a lot like somebody else's, but it's not intended to be. So yeah, that's how to solve a Pyraminx.